Hey folks, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you watching. So here we are. They're getting ready to, well, they are laying the block. They're not getting ready. They're out here laying the block. They actually got going before I realized they were even out here. They had already had it laid out and started on the first row before I realized, those guys were even out here. And so they did it so quick, I was kind of worried that maybe they didn't get it laid out square, but they did. It ended up being pretty good and square, so I was pretty pleased with that. Take a look at this, how they got the vertical post standing up. It's just being held up by blocks laying over some knee bracing, and then they got it clamped down. So I was a little curious about that, but it seemed to work out pretty good. I guess if you're doing a house or something big, you might not want to do it that way, but I guess for something as quick as this wasn't going to be a problem. Just clamping it on, holding on with the block. So I thought that worked out pretty good. I thought it was pretty intuitive. I would have never thought of doing it that way. But as you can see, they've got their system down. Two guys laying block, and they got another guy who's mixing the mortar mix and supplying them with the mortar. They kept it going pretty well throughout the whole time. I mean, they were here probably 4 or 5 hours, probably in all, from the time they got here till the time they finished. They got here around 7:30 in the morning, and then they finished up about 1:30 in the afternoon. So they were getting it pretty good. I noticed they never did level anything side to side. They used a string line, and they laid the block to the string. But as you can see, they really don't place a level on it side to side. But I mean, it turned out nice and straight, so I really don't have any complaints. While I was watching them, I mean, I felt confident that they were going to get it done right, but it's not how I would have done it. Being new, I mean, I'm not a block layer anyway, but if I were to lay the block, I would probably use a torpedo level to make sure everything was right. And of course, it probably would have taken me 10 times as long as it took these guys. So this is like almost to the last wall. They haven't done the front wall yet. They still have to do that. But so they both teamed up and started working on this wall. One's working on one end, one's working on the other. And then you got the other guy supplying the mix, the mortar mix. He's keeping them both supplied. So as you can see, they pretty much laid out the whole course with mortar and then started laying the block. It only went up 3 courses high, so this wasn't going to take them very long. I really wanted to try to do this myself. I wish I had, but I didn't want to waste the time. And I just didn't want to waste the time and not get it right. So I just thought it'd be best just to have somebody who knows what they're doing to come in and knock this out. I can practice some other time on something smaller, and I probably will. I want to learn. I want to do some block laying. I want to do it myself, but this wasn't the time. I just wanted to get this done because I'm really anxious to get going on the framing. That's where I know what I'm doing. So at least I'm confident about the framing part of it. So I want to go ahead and get this knocked out. So there they got the last block. Goes in nice and smooth. If that had been me, I'd be having to cut it and do all kinds of stuff to get it to fit in there right, but it worked out for them. There's 3 of the 4 walls, so now they're working on the front wall. Again, just 3 courses, so it won't take them very long. A few more blocks to go and they'll have this whole front wall wrapped up. This went a lot quicker because they had a lot less block to lay in. This one with 3 doors, 2 garage doors and a man door. So this wall went just a little bit faster. Here we got all the walls done now. Got the plastic and the wire mesh laid. Called for an inspection and that passed. So then they started laying the concrete. 15 yards of concrete on its way. Yeah, I thought I'd get the drone out and shoot some overhead video of these guys doing their work, getting it done. They're working on the last half of the pad, and it's moving along pretty quickly. So they finished this probably around lunchtime, but they spent the rest of the evening up until around 7 o'clock at night finishing this out. You know, they would smooth it over and then they'd wait a while, let the concrete set up some more, then they'd come back and start troweling it again. So they spent all evening working on it. So from this point on, it'll be all me doing the work, except for the electrical part. And I can't wait to get started. So the next thing I got to do is put the anchor bolts, the J bolts in here. I already have them marked. You can see these red lines in here. Every 4 feet. And I've marked out the ends of where the ends of the seal plates will lie. I'll use 16-foot long 2x8 seal plates. So I marked those out so I'll know to put the J bolts, you know, less than 1 foot from each end of the board and less than 1 foot from the corner and 4 foot spacing throughout. And that's more than enough. I think the code is 6 foot spacing. Well, I'll do 4 foot. So it should be plenty. So I thought while I had the concrete guys here, or not here today, but here in general, I'm gonna go ahead and get them to extend my driveway out. So they're gonna add an 8 foot or a 10 foot section to the left of the driveway and then come out this way 20 feet. So that'll be a considerable more concrete driveway space. They're supposed to come do that tomorrow. So I'm excited about that. So I went ahead and started putting some J bolts in. I just wanted to see, I had a couple of bags of concrete laying around, so I just wanted to see how much it was going to take to fill each hole, or was I going to have to order another truck to come out here and fill all these cores. But I'm not going to fill all the cores. I'm only going to fill it where the J bolts are. So I think a dozen bags. I am going to fill the edges where the door openings are, and that way when I mount my door jamb, I'll have something to screw into. So all the openings where the door openings will be solid concrete, and then I'll just pour the cores where the J bolts are going to be. So that should be plenty. Like I said before, I'm gonna put J bolts every 4 feet. You know, 1 foot from the ends of the walls, 1 foot from the ends of the seal plates, and then 4 feet on center. You know, everywhere in between. So anyway, that's the concrete pad for you. Next up will be the J bolts, or anchor bolts. I don't know why they call them J bolts. They're not a J, they're more of an L. But anyway, J bolts. So that's the next on the list. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.